Wednesday, which means that it's time for another live Q&A all about eBay and Amazon dropshipping. My name is Paul J. Lipsky from dropshippingtitans.com, and this is a chance for me to sit down, answer all the questions that you asked me this week about eBay or Amazon or anything related to dropshipping or any other questions that I might be able to answer for you. So if you're here with me live, thank you so much for being here. You can ask your question in the live chat on the right-hand side of your screen. Otherwise, if you're watching this on replay, feel free to ask a question in the comment section of any of my videos. I'll take a screenshot of it and put it up on the screen just like this and answer it during my next live Q&A. But seriously, consider joining us for a live stream. They're a lot of fun. You can do that by subscribing to the channel down below and hitting the little bell so you get notified every time that I go live, which should be every Wednesday night at around 8 p.m. is when I plan to do it. That's Eastern time. But let's jump right into the chat to see who's here. We have Rich here saying, hey y'all, what's up? Happy Wednesday. And Bobby's here as well. So thanks guys for coming back to the channel. And let's first address some news that's been happening on eBay. So eBay has been having a lot of glitches the past few days. And unfortunately, those glitches are things like if you're using the Markdown Manager, you might have gotten emails saying that you owe money for past invoices, which isn't necessarily true. There's also problems with item specifics. If you are selling clothing brands, this is a huge problem for anyone who's been selling clothing, because previously there was no really item specific for the size of a clothing. So let's say you were selling this shirt. There wasn't an item specific for the size. The size would go somewhere else. Now eBay has added in size as an item specific, but the size didn't transfer over correctly. So it's a big mess. And there's some problems with the seller hub as well. Lots of glitches on eBay. So if you're seeing anything strange happening with your eBay account, I would call them up to verify whether it's true, because chances are it's just because of one of these weird glitches that seems to be happening pretty commonly on eBay, unfortunately. Now, speaking of glitches, I did want to address another one that kind of came up, and that's this multi-user access. This was reported on one of the eBay seller forums recently. It's not really a glitch, actually. It's just kind of an annoying thing that is pretty unfortunate that eBay has kind of verified is true. So what am I talking about? So eBay recently fulfilled all of our sellers' longtime wish to give us the ability to give multi-user access to our accounts. So basically, we can hire an employee and give them only limited access to our eBay account. This is great. We've been asking for it for a long time. It's not great yet, but it's a great first step because it's very limited in what it can do right now. But here's the big problem that's not very clear unless you read the fine print. Every eBay account is either an account that can give access to someone else's account or be able to access someone else's account. So if I go into my eBay account and give access to one of my virtual assistants to be able to look and work on my eBay store, then from now on, I can only give access to other people. People can't give access to me through that same eBay account. Now, the reverse is also true, which is the bigger problem. So in this case, what happened to this person who posted this is that he had a friend who was asking for help with their eBay account. So the friend gave this poster, this guy, access to the friend's eBay account through the multi-user access. Once this guy who posted accepted that and went through the process, he is now unable to give other people access to his eBay account because he is using that account to access someone else's account. And eBay verified that this is not a glitch. It's not something that they can change because it's simply the way it works. And there's nothing they can do for him at this time. He's really upset, this guy, because he was really excited to be able to give his employees access to his eBay account. But now he's never going to be able to do that, ever. once he became an account that accesses other people's eBay accounts, he is now unable to give other people access to his eBay account using this multi-user access. So if you were thinking about using it, just be aware of that. Make sure you use it the right way when you are first starting out so that you don't get stuck with one when you meant to get stuck with the other one. Now, another eBay glitch, speaking of eBay glitches, this happened back in, I think it was August. So we've been hearing all year about eBay's new managed payment system. So eBay has been saying that they are going to be moving away from PayPal, and they're going to start using just basically a built-in system provided by a company called Adyen. They're getting rid of PayPal, and they're calling their new system Managed Payments. Some people have opted into Managed Payments. A lot of people have not. Not everyone is invited to opt into Managed Payments. And a lot of people don't want to use Managed Payments because they're afraid that if they start using it, then people won't use it and that it'll decrease their sales is the risk that people are fearing. Now, back in August, some sellers received an email that said that if they didn't start using Managed Payments, then starting October 22nd, they would no longer be able to list new items. Now, it's currently October 16th. Back in August, we learned a few days later that that email was incorrect, that wasn't true. But that rumor has persisted, and some people still believe that, or didn't hear the update, that October 22nd is not a deadline. So there's this rumor that all of us had to opt into Managed Payments, otherwise none of us would be able to list items. And that eBay has said is not true. Now, the more alarming thing here is that that email had to have come from somewhere. Someone wrote that email. So a lot of people are fearing that this is just a sign of things to come, that eventually eBay is going to force us into using Managed Payments, which we've known about, which they are going to do, and that this is one of the stepping stones to getting there, that eventually they're going to tell us that, hey, you don't have to opt in, but if you don't, you won't be able to list any new items. So you're going to have to opt in eventually. So that's all the latest eBay news that I have for you. Let's see who's joined us in the live chat. We have Jasmine here, Jay, from New York. What's up, man? We have Imid from Morocco. What's up? A lot of subscribers from Morocco here. What's up, Jay? Not much. Okay, let's see. Howdy, everyone. Rich says, if you're having problems with your Amazon account, should you use JC, the lawyer? I think I have his book up here somewhere. Yep, that's still the guy. CJ, I think you meant. CJ, yep. I would start with him, or you can reach out to me. I have a contact as well. Sorry about that. That I might be able to help you, Rich. Just send me an email, paul@pauljlipsky.com, or DM @pauljlipsky. Let's see who's here. All right. M says, hey, Paul, when doing Amazon dropshipping, is getting tax exempt needed? Guess the tax is already paid as soon as customer buys the product. Please clarify this. Too many contrary stories out there. So when you mean Amazon dropshipping, do you mean dropshipping on Amazon or dropshipping from Amazon? Either way, I think it's a good idea to become tax exempt whenever you can. So different websites like Walmart, Home Depot, Amazon, when you buy products from them, you don't necessarily have to pay sales tax to those states, assuming that you then collect sales tax appropriately on eBay or Amazon. Now, the good thing is that eBay and Amazon is collecting sales tax for us for a lot of these states, so this is becoming less of an issue. Unfortunately, this is a really complicated question. There's a lot that goes into this. I actually have basically a whole module of my course dedicated to sales tax, so that's done correctly, but hopefully that at least gave you enough information. All right, so let's go into the questions here. Follow-up question on managed payments from Bob's World Entertainment Podcast Limited says, will managed payments affect dropshippers? So will they affect dropshippers? We will have to use managed payments. I don't foresee any reason that it would hurt us or help us in particular. I think it's going to have the same impact on all sellers, whether they are drop shippers or not drop shippers. I've looked at all the different features it has. The only thing that I don't like about it is that I actually like PayPal. I've always had a good experience with them. They've always sided with me where it rationally made sense to side with me. The thing, eBay handles a lot, with customer cases, customer returns, different things like that. But the one thing they can handle is chargebacks on credit cards. So sometimes someone will buy an item and then open up a dispute with their credit card, and then the credit card will take the money back from PayPal and from you. Now, PayPal has always been really good for me in saying, hey, even though there is a chargeback, and even though we lost a chargeback, we are going to cover that cost, and you get to keep the cost of the item because you're a dedicated PayPal user. I don't think eBay is going to be so generous as PayPal has been. So that's my biggest concern about switching over. Does it happen a lot? No. But does it happen? Yes, it does. And sometimes those items can be more expensive items. So that's one of the reasons I really like PayPal. I'm not thrilled about managed payments. But again, that can happen for any seller out there, not just sellers who do drop shipping. Okay. Andre says, hey Paul, hi Paul, have you had any issues with your cashback website registering when using Giving Assistant? I haven't received any cashback in 6 days, and before that only a few registered. So there's a few things that can be going on here. So if you're not familiar with what cashback is or Giving Assistant is, you can go onto these websites. One of them is Giving Assistant, and you sign up for an account. And on Giving Assistant, you search for, let's say, Home Depot. And then there's a page that comes up that tells you all about Home Depot. And there's a big button there that says Shop Now. You click that. That then brings you over to Home Depot. It's a normal Home Depot website. But because you went through Giving Assistant first, they'll give you up to a certain amount of cash back on the order. So let's say it's 3% cash back. You spend $100 on Home Depot, they'll give you $3 back. Absolutely free money. Everyone should be using cashback. And this Friday, I'm going to release a video all about cashback and how to automate it so that it's always applying even when you're too lazy to use it, basically. So make sure to subscribe to the channel for that video and give this video a thumbs up if you're excited and want to see how that works. But back to your question, why isn't it working? Well, there's a few reasons it might not be working. So the way these cashback websites are able to track that you made a purchase and that you're the one that made the purchase is it uses something called cookies. Now, cookies are not the things that you eat, the snack. It's just a way to track things on websites and track you going from one website to another. Now, if you have certain blockers set up, those can clear out the cookies. Certain other Chrome extensions might interfere with those cookies. So look at the Chrome extensions that you're using. If you're trying to use multiple cashback websites, they're going to, one up each other. You got to make sure you're not trying to use more than one. Even if you have another Chrome extension for another cashback website added, I would delete that as well because that can interfere with it. Another option is you can do it incognito. We find that that works a little bit better as well. The final reason it might not be working is some accounts on Giving Assistant, like your account, might have gotten flagged for some reason. They might have seen that you were abusing it somehow. You might have violated some rules or some terms, and you no longer qualify for cash back. Now, unfortunately, they don't tell you that it happens. So they'll just start not giving you cash back, and you'll never know about it. Now, Giving Assistant says they don't do this. It's a supplier who does it. And the supplier, they say that they don't do it. They say it's like Giving Assistant that does it. So I don't know who does it. Either way, it could happen to you. So just be aware of that. All right. Account delete. So Mohammed says, Amazon closed my account. A lot of account daily. Do you have a solution? So I'm assuming here that you are drop shipping from Amazon and they shut down your Amazon buying account, the account that you buy stuff with. If that happened, then the reason that that likely happened is because you are placing too many orders too quickly to too many different addresses. Amazon has always been fine with us, drop shipping from them, but more recently they've become a little bit more concerned when they see accounts buying lots of products really quickly and shipping to different addresses. So what I recommend is kind of pacing yourself throughout the day. Place some orders in the morning, some in the afternoon, some at night, and just spread them out a little bit more. And that significantly reduces the risk of your accounts getting suspended. Now, once your account is suspended, it is not impossible, but it's really difficult to then get that account back. So that's why it's really important to just do it right from the start. All right, let's see. All right, so Ayad has a question about Home Depot. I used Home Depot as my supplier, but the store delivered the item directly to the customer and did not provide a tracking number. Will that be a problem to get my money? So let me break down this question into two different sections, and I'll answer the second part first. Will that be a problem to get your money? Yes and no, possibly yes, possibly no. So if you're new to selling on eBay, then PayPal is putting you in PayPal jail. And PayPal jail is basically, they're going to hold all the money from your sales until you upload a tracking number showing that the item was delivered. So if you don't have a tracking number, you're not going to have your money released to you. Now, will the money eventually be released to you without the tracking number? Yes, it will. Or what the buyer can do is they can log in and say, hey, I received this item already, and then that money will be released to you. So you can contact the buyer and ask them to mark the item as delivered, and then that money should be released to you. Now, the primary question here, or that I think is the more important question, is why didn't you get the tracking number? So let me go over to Home Depot here. All right. Oh, you see me right there. Go over to Home Depot and show you what happened, because normally Home Depot will supply you with a tracking number. So why didn't they give you one here? And the reason is because of the type of shipping that you chose. So let me see if I can find a good example. So I'll open up this product right here. And when you open up this one, then you see there's two options to buy here once it loads. On the left, it says pick up in store. So if you buy with this option, you'll actually have to go to the store and pick up the item, which you don't want to do. On the right here, it says we'll deliver it to you. This means the item will be shipped directly to the shipping address, which will be your buyer's address. And it specifically says add to cart, we'll deliver it to you, free delivery, or in this case, it says free delivery on $45 order. That's what you're looking for. Now, what you did, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find an example, but you chose a different one, which might be this one. So this one doesn't say we'll deliver it to you. It says express delivery. And express delivery means that the item is being put on a truck from a Home Depot store near the customer's address, and the truck is being driven to the customer's home, and then it is being, and then they're delivering it that way. So there's not any tracking number for that item because it's just on a Home Depot truck being dropped off with the buyer. So that's a mistake you made. If it says, I hope you guys could have heard me there. If it says express delivery, then it's not good. That's not really the best one to use. Okay. So Rich says, how do you track and manage price drops from sources for items previously purchased on those sources' websites. So Rich is trying to take advantage of price protection. Now, the only website that I really use price protection with right now is Home Depot. Walmart used to do it, but they don't do it anymore. What price protection is let's say that you buy this salt crystal lamp on HomeDepot.com today, and let's say it costs you $50. Now next week, let's say it goes down to $90. Home Depot will refund you that $10 difference as long as you ask for it within the return window for that item. So let's say the item has a 90-day return policy. As long as you ask for the price protection within the 90 days, you'll get that $10 back. So how do you keep track though? How do you keep track of all these items so that you can see if an item goes down in price? So there are a few different ways to do this. You can actually use some automated softwares like Paribus or Swiggle will do it as well. But a really easy option that's not as, well, I guess not as easy because it's not as automated, but another option is to use AutoDS if you're using AutoDS, because in AutoDS, you can go into your orders and download them, and you'll get a spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet will show you the price you paid for the item and the current price of the item. And you can just do a quick formula in Excel that will show you the difference in price for all of them. And then you can sort by which one has the highest price difference down to the lowest, and boom. Just make sure that when you do that, you then go into AutoDS and change the purchase price. So if we had already bought this crystal for $50, then we asked for a price adjustment and they gave us $10 back. Go into AutoDS and change the purchase price for that order and mark it down to 40 so that tomorrow when you download the sheet again, you don't see that there's a $10 difference when really you already asked for that price adjustment. And I think, Rich, I have a video about that inside the course. Not 100% positive about that, but I'm pretty sure I do. All right, so Country Wolf has a really good question here. Hey, Paul, have you ever had a buyer get the order and advise you that there was a piece missing? They don't want to exchange it. They want you to ship the missing part. The item was from Walmart. The issue was fixed. Customer misread the part list. Well, I'm really glad this had a good ending for you. This has happened to me several times. I don't know why it happens a lot with Walmart items. I very rarely have it happen with Home Depot items, but for some reason I've had it happen a lot with Walmart items. So, it's kind of like the problem with this is that Walmart does this. And when Walmart does it, like let's say you buy something from Walmart and it's missing a part. You're going to contact Walmart and they're going to tell you, oh, we can't give you just a part. You have to return it and then we'll send you a new one. And you're frustrated because you just set up this whole shelf and then realize there was just one missing part and now you have to take apart the whole shelf and ship it back. But it's Walmart. What are you going to do? Write them a bad review? Like, doesn't matter because everyone shops at Walmart. Now, we're drop shipping from Walmart and our customer says the same thing. Well, they can leave us negative feedback for that. So it does kind of stink. But that's just part of the game. Walmart will make you ship the item back. And what you can do is just provide really good customer service here. Say, you're really sorry, there's no way, this was actually the last one that we sold. We can't just break apart another unit and send you the missing part. We just don't have it. We really wish there was something we can do, but you're gonna have to ship the whole thing back and then we'll ship you a new one if we get them back in stock. Unfortunately, it's just part of the game. It's just what you have to do. It doesn't happen a lot anymore. It used to happen a lot more, but yeah, it does happen sometimes. Okay. Oh, awesome. So Michael says, hey, Paul, I'm seeing sales after taking your course. I'm now in the process of hiring a virtual assistant. I'm actually telling them the good news shortly. So congratulations. That's awesome. Super excited that you're hiring your first virtual assistant. It's going to be a huge game changer for you. So congrats on that. I also want to give a shout out to another one of my students, David, absolutely crushing it on eBay right now. Just had his first $2,000 day, so is really crushing it. Congratulations to David as well. Donnie says, how are returns handled since items come from other sources? Simple. Let's say someone's returning that salt crystal lamp and you bought it from Walmart. You're just going to contact Walmart, say, hey, I want to return that salt crystal lamp that I bought. They're going to send you a return shipping label. You then send that same label to the customer, and the customer ships it back to Walmart. Walmart refunds you, and you refund the customer. Simple. There's not going to be any handling of inventory by you. The item doesn't have to come back to your house. Let's see. So another question I had this week was from Bill. Bill says, hey, I have your eBay course and was just wondering if you updated it recently. eBay has made some changes. Cool. Yeah, so Bill, I update my eBay course pretty regularly. I think people would agree with that. I'd say probably every like 4 to 6 months, at least coming out with some sort of update, even if it's minor changes. And less than 2 months ago, I made some bigger changes to the course. So yeah, it's fully updated. And even if you're watching this in the future, it's going to be updated as well. I'm really proud of that course. I put a lot of time into it, and my students are seeing some really good success with it as well. So I always want to make sure it's updated with the latest strategies and tactics. Hollywood, the Trade King. So he says, dude, so you're not buying and reselling the products you list? I just seen a video of a guy that saying it takes $3,000 to $5,000 to start an Amazon business. Maybe if you're doing Amazon FBA or wholesaling FBA on Amazon, but with this dropshipping model, no, it doesn't cost you $3,000 to $5,000 to get started. You can get started for much, much less with dropshipping. And the reason for that is because we don't have that inventory up front. You don't have to pay to store the inventory. And those are like the two biggest prices, the two biggest costs of starting an FBA business. And that's out the window. We just have to start a store, get the right software in place, start listing up items, and you can do that from your couch. You can do the whole thing in one day if you really wanted to, and really dedicate yourself for the full day. All right, so Thomas says that he has 2 eBay accounts, and I missed a question. I'll get back to that. So 2 eBay accounts. I ran into a problem with AutoDS monitoring both stores through the extension. I've tried using 2 different computers, but I still get kicked off. What can I do? So Thomas, you can monitor 2 different eBay accounts through AutoDS. You want to make sure that both of them are added to your AutoDS account, and each store will have its own unique. Let me show you. What am I talking about here? It'd be a lot easier if I just show you. All right, so go back to the bad camera. Okay. And let me go over to AutoDS on this account. This is one to use for teaching. All right, so if you come over to the settings on AutoDS, that's here on the left, settings, you're going to see an option right in the middle of the page that says eBay accounts, and you click on add account. So you want to add an account for each store that you're using, and you can either do that through API or click on the add a non-API store, which is what I do. So currently you see up here at the top, I have 2 eBay stores added right here. So I have the first one selected, and over here on the right, you see there's a token. And what I did with this token is I added it here to this Chrome extension for AutoDS. Now within this same Chrome browser, I am logged in to this eBay account. If I go over to eBay, it will be for this eBay account. Now this second store, if I click on that one, and wait for it to load. That will have a different token. This is a completely different token over here on the right. So what I have to do is now create a second account. So let's say we'll do like this one. And I would have to add the AutoDS Chrome extension to this browser and instead use a token for the second eBay store with this Chrome extension. And within this window, I would have to be logged into the second eBay account. So that's the way it would work. You have to have two different windows that are for two different people here, each with its own token, each logged into its own eBay account so it can do the repricing. A little bit more advanced, but I don't think it's that bad. Once you set it up, it kind of just works. All right, so let's go back to Brian's question. Brian says, will you be willing to, it says Bewick, I know he's Brian. Brian, would you be willing to do an updated video on your method of finding good products to list? What are your parameters basically? How would you teach a VA to list the products the way you like it done? So my criteria really hasn't changed. It's the same way that it's definitely the same way I show in my courses and even in the free trainings that I have, which are usually linked up in the description of this video. I have some free trainings in there about eBay, free trainings about Amazon dropshipping. It's the same method I use in there as well. It really hasn't changed because it really works. I was speaking the other day with Nahar, who's the creator of Zeek Analytics, which is a software that we use to help us with our product research. And he was asking me what method I would recommend for new dropshippers to use in 2019 going into 2020. And what I told him was that I do recommend non-API stores. I think that's important, and all the changes around that component are important to be aware of. But the product research really hasn't changed, and it hasn't changed in a long time because it is this very basic, simple way of finding products that are already selling well on eBay or Amazon and then finding them on the supplier's website and selling those same items. It's the same thing. That hasn't changed because it just works. That method naturally adapts as time goes on. As new products come in, as different products, different successful products come in, that method will continue to work. So it really hasn't changed. It only gave me the option of express delivery. This is referring back to the example I showed on Home Depot. So if it only showed the option of express delivery, that means it's out of stock. Could you fulfill the order anyway? Yes, you can. It's going to cost you more in shipping, and you don't get the tracking number. Okay. How's your Q4 going, Paul? It's definitely starting to pick up. Not a ton. We see it start to pick up around this time, and then we'll definitely see some things towards the end of October, early November. Hey, Jenny, thanks for being here. Hey, Chad, what's up? Paul teaching his students to sell more than he does. Okay, so Four-Eyed Hustler. Have you ever had a customer message you to change the original address after it was shipped by your supplier? I have had that happen, and there's a really easy solution for this. This is an amazing solution, and it's absolutely going to blow your mind. All you have to do is go underneath this video and smash the like button. That's all you have to do. But seriously, they're out of luck on that one. That's their fault. They should enter the right address during checkout, and whatever address is on the order during checkout, that's the one you ship to. Don't ever let them talk you into shipping to another address, otherwise you won't be covered by eBay or PayPal. And certainly after it ships out, that's way too late. Just give them the tracking number, say you've already shipped it. Let's see. All right, so Zach says, hey, Paul, I hope you're having a great night. I am. Thanks, Zach. Really appreciate that. Quick question. How important are eBay ratings for your account? Should I focus on building those up by selling items for near no profit to start? So in the beginning, it is important to start to generate some sales for a number of reasons. One is just because the more items you sell, the greater the chances that eBay is going to increase the number of items that you're allowed to sell. They're going to increase your limits. Also, selling lots of items in the beginning helps you build up more feedback. And feedback, to a degree, is important. We've definitely found that it does impact your sales when you have better feedback as opposed to worse feedback. Now, I've also found that having worse feedback is worse for your store than better feedback is better for your store. Does that make sense? So getting negative feedback is really bad for your store. Getting positive feedback is, it's a good thing, but it's not the thing that's going to make or break the sale in most cases. Most buyers are looking at the item, the description, the photo, and the price of the item. They're not so much concentrated on the feedback, but that does play a factor into it. Much as possible, though, avoid the negative feedback. So yeah, in the beginning, selling cheaper items, even just items that are a few dollars, just trying to break even, is a good strategy because it allows you to sell the items, increase your limits, and if you provide good customer service, you'll get the positive feedback as well, which can help your account. Yeah, so how can you manage stealth accounts from the same computer? Any software for that? So stealth accounts are a little bit more advanced for eBay users, and what they are is basically accounts that aren't linked up together. So you have your main account that's under your name, your address, your phone number, and you have a stealth account. And your stealth account is under a different name, it's under a different IP address, a different phone number. So if your main account gets banned for some reason, then that stealth account isn't impacted at all. Some people use them, some people have to use them because they've gotten suspended from eBay. Now, how can you run multiple stealth accounts from the same computer? Because it gets tricky, because then if eBay sees the same IP address, they'll link them together. So what you can do, there's a few different options. You can use something called a VPS, virtual private, I think it's VPS, virtual private system server. Yeah, whatever it is. Somebody in the chat will let me know if I'm wrong. VPS. And basically what it is you ever see those remote logins where you can like log into your MacBook and then access your work computer from work? And it's like a remote desktop, like a virtual desktop. It's basically that. So a company will have these servers somewhere in the United States, probably someplace really cold, and you can then log into one of those servers and there's a desktop there that you can work on. You can have your eBay account running in there. Or what you can do, there's a way to do it with Firefox as well. I haven't really messed around with that one. We've always used the VPSs. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. VPA, well, whatever it is. Remote login. That's basically the way that we do it. The great thing is you can log in and set everything up in the VPS, but then there's a lot you can do not in the VPS. So again, I use AutoDS to run my eBay accounts. So I can actually log into all my AutoDS accounts for all my accounts, even if I have multiple stealth accounts, from this computer, as long as I don't log into eBay for all those accounts from within this computer. I could do a bunch of work on the AutoDS accounts, and then everything else is being done on the VPS kind of in the background. Texas in the house. What's up, Justin? Any recommendation non-API tools out there? There are a few different tools I use to run my business. I get asked this question a lot, so I think I'm going to make an update video where I share all the different software I use to run my eBay business. So if you want to check that out, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Probably in a couple weeks, I'll have that video ready. what is the price of my course now? So my eBay course is currently $297. I'm kind of hesitant to say that because the price can always change, but currently it's $297. And if you want to check that out, that will be linked up in the description as well. It's called eBay Dropshipping Titans. Okay, VPN. No, I'm not talking about VPN. Remote control, team viewer, yeah, VPS, something like that. Let's see. Am I using SKUGrid or AutoDS? I use AutoDS right now. Again, I'll make that update video for you guys. SKUGrid I use for my Lowe's items right now. And people still use it for, some people still use it for eBay, obviously, but people can also use it for Amazon as well. Drop shipping on Amazon, I should mean. Okay. All right, so Digital King Beats asked this question. Can you turn off returns for only global shipping program items, but still offer returns on US sales? Yes, you can. So when you sell items, you can always offer free returns or not free returns. So you can do that within different regions. So in the United States, I offer free returns. Global shipping program items, I do not offer free returns. So if the buyer decides they don't want the item, they'll have to pay to ship it back. Now, with that said, if you ship the wrong item, if the item arrives late, if the item arrives damaged or not as described, then you still have to pay to ship it back. Now, I say you have to pay to ship it back, but really it's the supplier. So if Walmart shipped it, you would get a return label from Walmart and return it directly back to Walmart. Global shipping program gets a little bit more difficult because Walmart's not going to pay for you to ship the item from like the UK back to the United States, because as far as they're concerned, they were only responsible for delivering the item to Kentucky, not all the way to the UK. So in that case, you might have to arrange something with the buyer to get the item back to you, and then you can return the item in store. Now, if the item was damaged, then that's usually because of eBay's fault, because they repackage the item after it arrives in Kentucky and then ship the item to the customer in the other country. So if it arrives damaged, a lot of times they take the hit for that because it was damaged in transit by eBay, and that's not your fault. No, I do not use promoted listings right now. I made two videos about this, about how promoted listings were just screwing up my account, and when turning them off, made my sales go back up. Made my sales shoot up, in fact. One of the best days I ever had was the day I turned off promoted listings. Then I was like, this doesn't even make sense. So I turned promoted listings back on. I saw a huge dip in sales the next day, and then I turned it back off and again saw a huge spike in sales the day after that. So I talked to a lot of people about this. This wasn't the case for other people. Other people saw the opposite, where they turned on promoted listings and saw their sales increase, and when they turned it off, they saw their sales decrease. But for me, I saw my sales do better without promoted listings. Virtual private server, thank you. Okay, so let's see, next question. All right, so LB wants to know, LB, sounds familiar, like somebody from a movie, LB, I don't know. It reminds me of like a movie character, LB, something like that. Anyway, on many online stores, they don't say anything about drop shipping. So are you allowed to use them? Like on Walmart, it doesn't say that you're allowed to drop ship from them. Are you allowed to do it? So basically, you're allowed to do it unless they say you're not allowed. No, let me rephrase that. You're allowed to do it unless they stop you from doing it. That makes sense. So some websites will say you're not allowed to do it. they're not allowed to drop ship from them. But if you drop ship from them, they don't stop you. They just keep letting you do it. Others, like Target, say you're not allowed to do it, and if you start to do it, they really do stop you from doing it. So it's just going to happen. So we use Walmart, we use Home Depot, we use Lowe's, never had a problem with them, but Target, we've had a problem with them. If there's a new one you have questions about, ask around on Facebook. People usually have tried them in the past, and they'll let you know whether it worked or not. Okay. Wow, I got put up on the big screen. There you are again. Justin, is that you in a dollar sign? That's pretty cool. Is that a $1 bill or is that a $100 bill? All right. Ed O'Connell. What's up, Ed? One of my students. Paul, so I'm in the global shipping area where the customer refunded without having to return the item. So does that hit to your wallet also? So, all right. So if an item is shipped through the global shipping program and the customer wants to return the item, they do have to ship it back in order to get a refund. Now if it's a case where you have to pay to ship it back, according to eBay, then you do have to arrange to have the item shipped back to you. Usually what we do, this has only happened to me once. We've contacted the buyer and said, hey, you have to ship this back. Well, this happened to us really like 3 times. Twice, the item was so cheap, we just refunded them and let them keep it. But once, it was a more expensive item, we contacted them and said, hey, you pay to ship it back and we will reimburse you for it. And that's what we ended up doing. And so that's what you have to do. If you don't do that, then it could be closed against you and they get to keep the item and they get a refund. Now, sometimes what happens with the global shipping program is that they'll receive a refund, but it comes from eBay and the refund doesn't come from you and there's no defect on your account. So if you received an email saying that it was closed, read it carefully because a lot of times with the global shipping program, eBay will actually cover those costs for you. Hi, Paul from West Palm Beach. John, what is up, my neighbor? Right next door. Does dropshipping from Amazon to eBay get your account flagged? Not necessarily. There's other factors that can get you flagged, but not specifically dropshipping from Amazon. All right. Have you ever been banned or I think you mean IP claimed on dropshipping on Amazon, Paul? I've never been banned for dropshipping on Amazon. I have received IP complaints. I've gotten them removed, and I've had others that I haven't gotten removed, and it hasn't impacted my account at all. But generally, we at least try to get them removed. Let's see. All right. Tina says, hey, I'd love to know more about eBay automated listing software and how you're using it. I hear manual dropshipping is a way to go so you don't get flagged on eBay. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks. Tina. Okay, so Tina, manual dropshipping, there's two different people. Okay, there's 2 different types of manual dropshipping. One is where it really is manual, where you're just copying and pasting everything, repricing everything manually. That I don't think is a smart way to do it because it's a waste of time. The smart way to do it is what's called manual dropshipping. So it's not manual dropshipping, it's manual dropshipping. And manual dropshipping is when you use software that automates your business, but what eBay sees is that you are listing everything manually. And it looks to them like you're doing everything manually when really you're doing everything manually with software. So that's what I recommend, the manual non-API software. And again, like I showed you before, I use AutoDS, which is this one, and they have a non-API manual solution that we work with that works really well. And it uses that Chrome extension that I showed you before. Oops. I almost quit the program by accident. That would have been bad. All right, so awesome job to Rich. Looks like Rich received a counterfeit claim on Amazon, and then he wrote some legalese back to them, and they retracted the claim. So congratulations, Rich. That's awesome. Excuse me. True manual dropshipping is nearly impossible. Good luck refreshing hundreds of pages on your supplier's website to monitor the price changes. My thoughts exactly. All right. Where can I? Oh, there it is. Hi, Paul. How do you get limitless funding for an Amazon dropshipping business? Is an Amex Platinum charge card the best way to go? Well, okay, so this is one of the struggles with Amazon is their cash flow. So Amazon will hold your funds for 2 weeks. So you sell an item, they hold the money for about 2 weeks. In the meantime, you still have to fulfill the order. You still have to deliver it to the item, to the customer, and then you get the money released to you after 2 weeks. So how do you buy the item when they don't give you the money? You put it on a credit card. Is Amex one of the best business cards out there? Technically, yes, because they will give you a really high limit compared to other cards. With that said, there are some, they're not the most beginner-friendly cards, I would say. One, it's harder to get approved for Amex cards than for other ones. You generally need some really strong credit history and a long length of credit history for Amex cards. Two, what else was there? Oh yeah, a lot of times they have higher fees than other cards. Like I use a Capital One card, Capital One Spark business card, gives me 2% back on all my purchases. It's only $100 a year. I think the Amex cards are sometimes like $500 or more dollars a year. So definitely more expensive. And last time I looked, I haven't looked in a little while, the greatest cashback I saw on an Amex card was 1.5%, and the Capital One gives me 2%. Half a point does make a difference. And I have enough limit on that card to get me through. It's totally fine. Now, the other option with Amazon is to use a service like Payability. Payability is specific for Amazon. So what it does is Amazon, let's say you do $5,000 worth of sales today on Amazon. Tomorrow, Payability will front you 80% of 5,000, whatever the number that is. They'll give you, I think it's 80%. Yeah, 80% of that into your bank so that you can then use that to fill the orders. And then once Amazon releases the money to you, Payability takes their money back. They get that money back. Plus they charge, I think, a 2% fee, though that fee could be lowered the more you use them. So that's the way it works. They're basically fronting you the money that you made for the sale. And so those are, I think, better options for beginners. Start out just using whatever credit cards you have, whatever cash you have. Once you get within 3 months and you start to build up some sales, try to get a better credit card like the Capital One, or use Payability. Payability, you have to be in service on Amazon for at least 3 months before you can get started with them. But that's definitely a really solid option. All right. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So speaking more about manual dropshipping, Adam wants to know, hey Paul, how would I stop myself from listing the same item twice when listing manual on eBay with no software? So it sounds like you're doing true manual, not manual. So true manual, you're gonna need a spreadsheet with all the URLs of all the items that you've listed on the eBay. If you ever delete those items, you have to delete it from the spreadsheet. You have to constantly search that spreadsheet. It sounds like a lot of work to me. I don't want to do that. So with this software, again, AutoDS, when I use it, when I go to list items with it, because it allows me to list items, I come over here to the uploader, I put in a URL here and click grab details. And what it's going to do is, if I've already listed that item, it's going to tell me. It's going to say, hey, you've already listed this item. You can't list it again. So it keeps track of that for you. Okay. Rumple, I don't see your question. So, Rumple, if you had a question, ask it again because I don't see it. All right, so Alexandra says, I haven't been able to ship items to PO boxes with some suppliers. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Should I set up my eBay account to where I can't ship to PO boxes? Yes, you should, because most suppliers will not ship to PO boxes. So you might as well just exclude it from all your eBay listings. Bob's World Entertainment Podcast has another question here. Says, Paul, if people build their own website and dropship, it would be a lot less stress than dropshipping on eBay. Bob, I would have to completely disagree with you on that one. When you're dropshipping on eBay and Amazon, you don't have to worry about building a website. You don't have to worry about driving traffic to that website. You don't have to worry about trying to do things like abandoning carts and emailing people who didn't purchase, follow-up emails with people, all that stuff, which costs money, which takes time, which requires knowledge and expertise, you don't have to worry about, because eBay and Amazon gives you a website you can start selling on today, and there's a ton of customers already there ready to purchase your items. And that is a lot less stressful, in my opinion, especially for new people, than trying to set up your own website and driving traffic to it. What's up, Dan from Texas? Okay. All right, so I think that is... All right, so last concern I wanted to address here by Joseph Y. says, dropshipping arbitrage is not a real business. Wah, wah. It does not create anything new, nor does it add value to the product. Basically, you're trying to profit from the buyer's ignorance, who do not know that they could buy the product from the original seller themselves and save the huge jack up in price you charge. To me, it's like a scam. Well, it's not a scam. That's not the definition of a scam. But to answer your question, does it add any value? There has been middlemen for centuries. There's always needs to be someone to connect the source of the product with the people who want to buy the product itself. So there are a ton of items that only Amazon sells, that only Walmart sells, that only Home Depot sells. And if those products were only being sold on those websites, then all the people that only shop on eBay would never be able to buy those products. So we as dropshippers are linking up the products on those websites with the buyers who want to buy them on eBay, but don't know how to shop on the other websites, don't want to shop on the other websites, don't trust shopping on the other websites because they only trust shopping on eBay. Maybe they're elderly and have shopped on eBay for years and don't know how to shop on these other websites. So we are the middle people. We connect these products with the people who are going to buy them. And that has been around for centuries. That is the value that we provide, convenience. It's no different than when you go down to the corner convenience store and you see a bottle of water for $2. When you know that you could buy a 6-pack of those waters at the grocery store for just $2, but you're willing to pay $2 for one of them for convenience because there is a middle person selling them in that store, connecting the product, which is a water bottle, with the person who wants to buy it, which is you. It's convenient. So that's the reason this works, and that's why I think we do provide value. And with that, that is the full hour. So thank you guys so much for all the fantastic questions this week. Really appreciate them. Like I said, if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section underneath this video. I'll take a screenshot and answer it during my next live Q&A, which is every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, dependent on my health, dependent on my schedule, dependent on worldly events. But generally Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. If you guys got any value out of this video, make sure to smash that like button down below. Consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any sort of notifications. You hit that little bell so you get notified about upcoming videos that are being released in all my live streams. Otherwise, guys, thanks so much for watching.